Morning, and welcome to our new temporary boat, which has the same stove as our old, not temporary boat, which is actually sitting beside us right now in pieces. We've been approached by a bunch of different companies over the years to sort of do a sponsorship type deal video, but usually it's products that we don't actually have any kind of need for, so we've avoided them. But this is a problem that we actually do have and have always had. We have been using coal in our Morso Squirrel. And we've tried a bunch of different coals. We've sort of settled on Oxbow Excel as the coal that we tend to go, oh, that's what we'll get. And it has worked for us. But it's coal. It's non-renewable. It has, obvious implications for global warming and climate change issues. But it's also dusty and dirty. Not particularly cheap, but I mean, it does get the job done. And yet, you always end up feeling like you're damaging the environment, damaging your own lungs, and that you're just working with something that you really shouldn't be using. So I've looked over the years for ways we could do burning renewable fuels in order to heat the boat. And we've tried coffee logs, which burned really fast, but were quite expensive. Though they did put out a really good high amount of heat, you had to churn through them to get anywhere. So they were really mainly like a really kind of fast, convenient, very good fire lighter. Like they'd get you up to a quick burst. But if you needed to heat the boat day in and day out, it was quite pricey. Now I never did find Lekto. They simply ran under my radar, but they've approached us now. They've sent us a portion of what they're calling the Boaters Bundle. The Boaters Bundle is now live on their website, and it's essentially it's a bulk purchase. So you buy this kit and you get a discount off of it, and it's not a bad price. So we got the Lekto Firelighters. They came in a fairly convenient, although slightly keystoned box that did have a bunch of dust falling out of it when we pulled it out. But they're like little bundles, and they're all natural wood, I guess, that's just been shredded and formed. And I'm looking forward to trying them and seeing how well they work. Compared to the naphthalene impregnated firelighters that we get from Tesco's, etc., that certainly do burn for a long time, but you get the feeling that you are doing some damage to yourself and to the environment and using them. Premium Kiln-Dried kindling. I'm not sure what's so premium about it, but it does have a sticker that says it's ready to burn. Kindling. Apparently premium kindling. It's nice and dry. That's good. We'll see how well that works compared to the non-premium kindling that comes from your average grocery store and everything. We got one box of that. We got one box of the night briquettes, which is a heavy thing. Okay, look interesting. They're basically like a fairly large brick. Kind of a woody smell. That's nice. It doesn't look like wood. It looks like something that would smell worse than wood. Like a night briquette. It looks like a night briquette made of night something. Anyway, these are supposed to burn overnight, so you apparently put one or two of them, I think it actually says on the box, into the fire at night with, turn it down low and it burns slow and you get warmth overnight. So I'm hoping that works the way that it does. That's one of the nice things about coal is that you can just sort of damp it in and let it go overnight unattended, and you wake up in the morning and you've got cinders and everything that you can relight with, so I'm hoping that works out well. Yeah, definitely heavy. The temporary ballast effect of two of these will be substantial, so prepare for that. Like, we leave our coal on the roof. Obviously, we can't do that with this. A lot of people leave natural wood that they've harvested on the roof too, and then you end up with creosote and everything from wet wood. So it's good to keep it in a dry space, but narrowboats have a real premium on storage. And the last part of the normal bundle is these hardwood heat logs, which unfortunately came in a box that these are also extremely heavy. They're heavier than the night briquettes. Came in a box that had failed and that led to, although they are plastic wrapped in a bundle, obviously some of them had opened because we got sawdust everywhere. They have roughly the diameter of a cut log. They are also some sort of compressed sawdust with a nice hole down the middle, so at least they should be pretty easy to light, providing some of their own air through there. And yeah, it looks like it's a hardwood sawdust. We'll be using them over the next, well, however long it gets us. So last we also received, and we will test them out, but they're not part of the boaters bundle, the Kiln-Dried oak logs. So honestly, in the moment in which we were doing all of these boat repairs, my first thought when seeing this was, ooh, a source of oak. But we'll use them for firewood. So they also came in a box. However, they're literally naturally shaped pieces of wood, so the box did not do well. We will see how efficient these can be, financially. But I really like the idea of burning fuels that are at least from sustainable sources, and so we burn the wood, and then the carbon gets collected by plants and things and turned into wood again, rather than having to just basically take dinosaurs out of the ground and turn them in future.
So I just got back to the boat that we're staying on. Michael's been working on our boat all day. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and he hasn't kept the fire going because he's been on the other boat, so there isn't even any embers left. So I'm going to try the Lekto hardwood heat logs for this first time, these things, to try and get the boat warm again. So they come with some instructions. Make sure there's plenty of air supply in your solid fuel burner. Place a fire lighter and or wood kindling into your solid fuel burner and ignite. Break into smaller pieces and place hardwood heat log on top and allow to ignite. Adjust the airflow and close the door, and that's it. It also says that the Lekto hardwood heat logs are the best alternative to traditional firewood. High heat output, low moisture content, long burning time, environmentally friendly and low ash. So we'll see. So it says to break them up. I didn't realise that we'd have to do that. Break into smaller pieces. So it turns out it's quite easy to break it into smaller pieces. But obviously there's a bit of dust, so I should do this outside and come back in. So it's probably tons of kindling. I hope I've done this right. I guess we'll find out. Well, it says plenty of airflow, but that's going really fast. Let's close that and get that open. As you can see, the stove's really cold. So we'll see how long it takes to get to the best operation temperature. So it's only been about 10 minutes and everything is well and truly alight. So I'm going to turn this right down to just half a turn open, I think. The fan is spinning and the stove is really, really hot. So far so good. Just depends. I guess we just need to see now how long that one log can maintain the heat before we need to put in another one. So it's a few hours later now, and we're going to try the night bricks for the first time. Read the instructions. It says to use 2 or 3 depending on the size of your stove. Our stove's pretty small, so we're going to use 2, see how we get on with that. And they last up to 8 hours. It was really early because we were doing the renovations on the boat at the moment. We're just both so tired, so not sure if we're going to be awake in 8 hours, but we'll see. So yeah, the instruction says use 2 or 3. To use a bit of kindling, I think, to help them catch, and then turn the fire down low, close the ventilations down to so they're barely open, with just a little bit of airflow, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us through to morning. We'll see. So we had 2 night briquettes in last night, and they are still glowing this morning. There's a lot of ash, but I think that's just because we didn't get rid of it yesterday, and and that probably helped with just keeping like little airflow so that the briquettes didn't burn too fast anyway. So yeah, the night bricks in conclusion are very good at burning all night without you having to get up and put anything else on the fire to keep it going.
So yeah, we've enjoyed using the Boaters Bundle. We've used up and consumed the Boaters Bundle. In fact, we actually did it a little while ago. We got a good feel for what you get out of the Boaters Bundle items. So what we found was the firelighters were great. The natural firelighters were just beautiful. They burst into flames and they're really quite easy to use. Really enjoyed those. The kindling was really nice, but it's kindling. I mean, you know, it works like all other kiln-dried kindling. It's just in a nice container and, you know, work great. The main items that were sort of worth checking were the night briquettes and the compressed wood fire logs. And those were different. So what we found was that the compressed logs worked. They're basically like highly compressed wood shavings. It's nice because, of course, they're a renewable fuel. No need to worry about like carbon output or anything. They're quite clean. They burn really quite cleanly. They're low ash compared to most coals. Some of our coals are a little bit less ash, but it's also less offensive ash. You know, it's not that kind of gray-black ash where the coal hasn't fully burned through. It's wood ash kind of smells nice even. The compressed logs burn hot and they burn relatively fast. So what we found with those was that they were really good for getting the boat up to stonking hot quick. Great for if you're coming in and there's a cold fire and either you've been away from the boat for a while or you've come back in the morning and found the fire dead. Fire later, a couple of compressed logs, poof, you're up and running, and it really warms up much quicker than we found with any of our usual kind of coal setups. The night briquettes were also really nice. Found that we could just take 2 of them in the evening and put them into the fire, get them lit, turn down the fire, and we'd be, you know, very pleasantly able to wake up in the morning and find something there that we could then reignite really fast. You had this mass of burned down sort of smolder at the bottom and introduce a bit of air and it'll catch something on fire pretty quick. So that was nice. They have a fairly rich smell that you get when you pull them out. They're kind of musty. And then when you burn them, they have a very it's not unpleasant odor, but it's a very strong odor of burned wood. Like it really, you know, you definitely know you're burning wood. Which is similar to what happens when you burn a log, but like even more intense. The overall quality of the product is really good. I think it'd be perfect for people who are on a boat for a week and then they're going back off the boat. If you could get it on the boat, or you had a place where you had a regular shipment, or you had a car and you were able to use it, it's a pretty good option. It's definitely cleaner than coal. It's definitely more environmentally friendly than coal. It's not as economical as coal. I would find myself using the compressed logs to get the fire up and running and then put a couple of good logs on there to actually take the heat and produce the longer burn, because like wood logs just do last longer than these pieces of compressed wood. The night briquettes are great. I would love to use those as a kind of keep in nighttime burning sort of option. The bundle as a whole, I think, will work for you best if you're going to be on the boat on a short-term basis, or order the bundle and use it alongside coal. The bundle is a good option. I'm always cognizant of the fact that like long-term continuous cruisers have storage problems that are not really addressed by the packaging. You run into the sort of same problem you have with wood to begin with, which is that you've got a certain amount of kind of BTUs of heat in a fairly large package. The advantage of coal is you get the same amount of heat out of something that's just smaller and takes up less room. So, for long-term boaters, continuous cruisers, people who do not have like a regular mail drop or a marina location where they can pick things up and they're moving around all the time, it might not be the best option. But I do think that, there are certainly components of it that would be worthwhile. If you're a occasional boater or you're marina based, and you can get those shipments fairly easily, and you do want to enjoy having some fuel sources that are not as environmentally unfriendly and that are just, cleaner to work with and don't leave you with the kind of hacking cough, but do leave you smelling a little bit of charred wood, consider the Lekto Boaters bundle. So hope you found that useful. It is a product that's aimed at boaters. There's not really a lot of boater specific products out there, so we were kind of interested in seeing it, trying it out, and seeing if it solved a problem for us. It sort of addresses a problem we have. I wished it was kind of completely perfect for our style of cruising, but I can see that it would be very good for people who don't cruise quite as much as we do. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got something useful out of it. And yeah, tune in next time.